Speaking of Hard Knocks narratives, how are Packer fans dealing with Rodgers living his best life and apparently being invigorated by the youth as opposed to potentially chafing because of the youth? How's that hitting Cheesehead Nation?
Yeah, the response I've seen is that they're letting Jets fans have this honeymoon period because they think Jets fans are going to realize here in a little bit that, it was honeymoon period for the Packers too. And then he got mad at the receivers and he started getting angry and all this stuff. But listen, anytime you have a bad breakup with an ex and then you see them go on to be happy, it's never great. So I think it might be a little insecurity from Packers fans, but there's only one number they care about, and that's 65. And if Aaron Rodgers plays 65.01% of the offensive snaps list this year, I don't think they'll care much about how happy he is on Hard Knocks.
No, I hear you. That means a first-round pick goes to Green Bay. Is it really a bad breakup with Packers fans or just with Gutekunst and the FaceTiming and all that sort of stuff? Really?
Yeah, it's definitely more so with Brian Gutekunst, but I think Packer fans feel that Aaron should have done it in a more gracious way. I don't know. I will go to my grave. Now, he didn't tell me this specifically when I spoke with him earlier this offseason, but I will go to my grave thinking Aaron wanted to still come back to the Packers and finish his career, and it was the Packers who pushed him out. And then Aaron, after he realized he was done here, kind of then shifted his perspective to, okay, I want to go play for the Jets. Now I'm going to make it seem like I wanted to play for them all along. So I think that kind of twist from him, which he kind of had to do to not make it seem like it was just a one-sided thing, the Packers pushing him out, I think that has maybe rubbed Packer fans the wrong way a little bit. But as we talked about last time I was on, I think all will be forgotten in however many years when he comes back here and his jersey's retired and there are 80,000 or some odd fans filling Lambeau Field cheering him on. And, time heals all wounds, and I think they'll remember all the good he did for this franchise someday.
Dude, Favre used the Jets as a transfer portal to get to the Vikings to get back at the Packers, and the Packers and Favre, still got back together in Lambeau Field.
Of course.
And I know I guess money might talk on that front too, but come on. I mean, the Packers flew down to Favre to offer him his actual locker back when he thought they were coming to offer him his job back. That's how bad that breakup was, Matt. And
it was way worse.
And so this is nothing compared. Like, literally, the Favre breakup is holding the beer of what we're talking about right now. So when it all comes down to it, though, I'm just wondering, like, here's Rodgers going to Broadway. Here's Rodgers going to Taylor Swift. Here's Rodgers, smiling and talking about staying here for a while and handing things off to Zach Wilson. And here he is talking about how young this team is and how that has reinvigorated him. And I'm just wondering how that hit Packer fans. It just is.
I think the Green Bay loyalists like to they have a lot of pride in what there is to do around here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I'll put it that way. So I think a couple of us, when we saw Rodgers gallivanting around New York City, I think he went to a car show. That's just because there's that stuff to do in New York and not here in Green Bay. So maybe that's why. But going back to your point about how different those breakups were, I mean, I wasn't here in 2008 for Favre because this is only my fifth season covering the team. But, I mean, Aaron got booed at family night, their big scrimmage inside Lambeau Field during the preseason, and Favre was in attendance. This year, Jordan Love gets resounding cheers when John Kuhn is interviewing him on the field after. So just in terms of a fan reception point, it was not only more contentious, but just awkward back then. And this time, it seems like there's a lot more energy and fan support going Love's way, which has to feel good for him. And I think it just speaks to the fact that the fans, too, were ready to turn the page on the Rodgers era, maybe not like they were 15 years ago.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.